So when someone's looking at starting an ADU, we kind of talked about going to their city and asking about zoning regulations. What kind of permits would be required to even start construction?
So we're actually in the beginning phases of one in Kirkland, and it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be very similar to a remodel or an addition. If you go into an ADU, an attached dwelling unit, you're going to have the opportunity of not having to go through new construction permits, which take a lot longer. So if you're building a new, even a DADU or a new home, it will take a lot longer to go through those processes because there's a lot more levels you have to step through. The eco, the environmental, all the codes really. As far as if you're doing it into an existing home, most of those homes are going to. If you're doing a garage
or a basement or something like that, it's just going to be more seamless.
Yeah. And so if you're doing a garage, the difference between a garage separate from a basement is that a basement has, for the most part, most basements have already been preheated, I guess is a better way to put it. On the permits, it's asking if it's a heated space already. Garages are more of an external premises that don't normally get heated. So there are different regulations and paperwork you need to do to bring a garage into an ADU version. But if you're doing a basement, it's very, very quick, very easy. We create plan sets. We just fill out a few paperwork information forms, and we turn it in, and then they approve or review and adjust as needed. If you go into the garage, then of course there's a handful of other paperwork you need to do. But if you're going to the DADU, then you're working with a lot more items, which in turn would be from the ADU version. Everything we talked about already is that we can handle everything from that A to Z, unless we're doing anything structural. But if we're taking out a structural wall, then of course we would want to bring in our engineering team. When you get into the DADUs, you're working with the necessity now to, at the very least, have a structural or our engineering team come in, and they would be the quarterback for that kind of stuff. They'd be the one that would set up for the prints, because we're not able to do. You have to have an engineering stamp and sometimes an architectural stamp, which would bring the architectural teams in. But you have the opportunity of having those teams create the drawings themselves. So like I said, they'd be the quarterback, and we'd be, backup kind of stuff to kind of be support. But they'd handle everything up to the permit and the approval of the permit.